Hey everyone, it's Chris here from Everyday Survival Gear, and today I bring you the review of the Rofis TR10. It's basically the 16340 equivalent of the bigger TR18 and TR20. Usually right now I'd shine it in your eyes, but I'm actually in my shed hanging it on the wall to get light to show you guys that it actually works good. So we'll shine it like so. That is a 900 lumen beast lighting up my whole shed. And let's get the review started. This is the smallest flashlight in the series of the Rofis TR series, I should say. Yeah, basically it's the same as the TR18 and TR20. It just runs on a smaller 16340 battery. Alright, so we'll start with what it comes with. Let's see. You get the O-rings, of course, spare O-rings, two there. You get the instruction manual, you get the clip, and you get the lanyard. No included battery or anything on this TR10, mainly because it doesn't have an inbuilt charging port, so there was probably no point. Specs and output wise, this is pretty much the same as all the TR series. So basically it's an adjustable head flashlight with multifunction usage. So you know, you can turn the head. I'm about to turn it on, aren't I? Like so. It's not that hard, but because the head's small, it can be a little bit of a pain. So that's the head straight. It angles to a 90-degree angle. Built-in tail magnet. So basically, this is the only flashlight in the TR series that has a built-in tail magnet. Show you guys here. It's built in there. You can see the magnet sits underneath the back spring. Right now I have a Fire IMR cell in here. Because it is putting out 900 lumens, I would suggest to use a high drain cell. The protection might kick in if you're using a protected cell, so just be wary of that. So basically it uses a Cree XPL HI V3, the same as the other TR series. Maximum output of up to 900 lumens. They say up to 900 lumens. I'll put a chart here. I measured mine at 913 lumens to be exact. For a 16340 flashlight, it's one of the brightest on the market. It does pretty much a better job at staying stable at its output at around 900 lumens than the Olight S1R. If you made me choose one of these, the Olight or this, I would go the Rofis, easy. Because of its constant current driver, it stays at the 900 lumens for quite a while actually. I was surprised to see it stay there for a while. Boasts a peak beam intensity of 4,855 CD and a throw distance of up to 139 meters. So it can throw up to 139 meters. Yeah, that is right, but basically it struggles to get there. Like it probably can, in theory, go 139 meters, but it's basically a mini flutter. It's made to be a flutter. Innovative single button offers access to 5 brightness levels and 3 special modes. So basically the same UI as the other TR18. High efficiency constant current circuit driver provides max runtime of up to 160 hours. So on moonlight mode you're looking to get 160 hours of runtime. Integrated power indicator to remind the user the battery power is close to depletion. So basically it doesn't light up every single time you start the TR10. To save energy in these smaller cells, they only make it activate once the battery is running out, which is fine. You don't really need lights flashing every single time you start it. It's got a memory function. It's got direct access to moonlight mode. Ultra compact and lightweight. Its diameter is 22 mils, so 22 mils in diameter, and length is 82 mils long, and it weighs 41 grams if you've got the battery, of course. So not the world's smallest 16340 flashlight, but it doesn't do too bad overall. It's pretty good. Switch incorporates a specially designed lock function to prevent accidental illumination. So basically right now, I'm pretty sure I've got my lock on. You can't push it down. One of the interesting things is, because this is like a reshaped bigger light, on the bigger light, so you can see that this is sitting flush there. but on the bigger light, there's more like outside width here. It's a bit wider, the actual head. So the body is like uniform in size. So that 2 mils is like 2.22 mils, sorry, is like the body and the head. So as you can imagine, like with this button here, you can kind of push it from the side. So I'll show you guys. So you can see it's getting pushed, but from the top, it's sweet from the top and bottom, but from the left and right, because the body width isn't actually big enough, you can still push the button. So it's good that it has a lockout feature. Reverse polarity protection prevents damage from incorrectly inserted batteries. It's constructed from the usual aircraft grade aluminium alloy with hard anodizing type 3. Micro textured reflector offers a wide angle of lighting. Waterproof in accordance to IPX8 2 meters submersible. Impact resistant to 1.5 meters. And it can be tail stood. Oh, let me just move this back a little bit. So you can see their tail standing. I'll take it out of moonlight, out of lock mode. Alright, so now you can see it's out of lock mode. Basically, if you want to make it shorter, just do obviously the most obvious thing that you can do. And make it shorter like so. Oops, that's probably on turbo mode now. That's fine. I think it's like really cool. It's a really cool looking light. It's pretty trendy because it's so small and tiny. It looks awesome. Like if you compare it to something like the JetBeam Jet MK2, which I'll bring over here in a sec, you'll see that the JetBeam is smaller, but this does offer almost twice as much output as the JetBeam 2. I think I already said it, that I'll leave a chart somewhere showing you guys the output. The output is actually quite amazing. It does a really good job. So basically, the light can run on either a rechargeable RCR123 or as we would call it, a 16340, or it can run on a primary lithium battery, a CR123. Those CR123 options are really good if you live overseas. Here in Australia, we can't buy them from the shops anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But if you're overseas, you can just go to your local shop and pick them up. That's pretty easy. Now we'll run through the modes. Basically, you get two different outputs, either with the CR123 or with the 16340. So I'll try and start it on moonlight mode. So that right there is moonlight mode. I've got to move the button, sorry, the clip around. Also, I will mention reverse facing clip. I love this feature. I can put it on my hat if I go fishing, and if I need it, I'll throw it on my hat and it will be reverse facing, which is great. So with the 16340 on moonlight mode, it's 3 lumens for 70 hours. So 3 lumens for 70 hours on moonlight mode. Then we simply push and hold to go upper mode. Ultra low is 18 lumens for 29 hours. Then we push and go up again. Low mode is 70 lumens for 2.8 hours. And we push and go up again. Medium mode is 300 lumens for 1 hour. Now we get to the tricky part. High mode is 60 lumens for 4.3 minutes. Then it drops down to 300 lumens for 40 minutes on high mode. Next up, turbo mode. This is the brightest mode here. It's 900 lumens for 2 minutes. Then it drops down to 300 lumens for 40 minutes. So basically the whole time that I was testing this for the output test, I didn't see it drop down at all, to be honest. I probably didn't have it on for the longest anyway, but it stayed lit for that whole time that I was using it, which is great. Basically, like 2 minutes on turbo mode is pretty much more than what most companies offer you. You usually only get about 30 seconds to 45 seconds, sometimes a minute if you're lucky. So that 900 lumens is pretty good. I was actually surprised. This is partly the cell and this is partly the light. When I started the ceiling bounce test, the battery was fully charged, so 4.2 volts. Then it dropped down to 3.7 volts, and in that time you only lost like 60 lumens of output, which I know it sounds like a lot, but for that battery to be 0.5 of a volt difference and not lose too much power, that's actually quite good. I was thinking, you know, like most cells or most flashlights, if you were to drop that much voltage, you will lose a lot more output than that. I'll also just run over the outputs with the CR123. So basically, Moonlight mode is the same, 3 lumens, but you get 160 hours. Basically, the CR123s, they hold a lot more capacity, but the overall voltage is lower, so you don't get as much power. So ultra low then is 18 lumens for 60 hours. Low mode is 70 lumens for 3 hours. Medium mode is 300 lumens for 1.3 hours. This is where you notice the difference. So basically, output in high mode. So high mode is 450 lumens for 2 minutes. Then it drops down to 300 lumens for 72 minutes. And then in turbo mode, you only get 700 lumens max with the CR123. That lasts for 4.3 minutes. Then it drops down to 300 lumens for 66 minutes. So basically, you're losing output to get a bit of extra runtime. That's also the reason why you're getting a little bit of extra runtime, is because you're losing output too. On the lower modes, obviously the CR123 has more capacity than the 16340. So yeah, Rofis wrote it was measured using a 16340 lithium ion, 650 milliamps, and the CR123 was a 3 volt 1700 milliamp hour battery. I should also mention you get strobe, beacon, and SOS, which I'm pretty sure can be accessed from any single setting. So it should be 3 clicks fast, which it is. Now that's on strobe, which is at 900 lumens. Then you push and hold. Then next should be beacon or SOS. It's beacon. That's also 900 lumens. And next up should be beacon mode, which it is right now. It's on beacon mode. Looks cool. Basically, as I've already said, 4,835 CD, which is 139 meters, 1.5 meters drop resistance, which is actually pretty good, considering I think it's using a boost driver, because the CR123s should mean you need to use a boost driver, I guess. And IPX8 to 2 meters underwater. As usual, I've wet most of my Rofis lights and they're still lasting, so that's always good. Now we'll just quickly run over the UI. So push and hold to get to Moonlight mode, so that's Moonlight mode. Then to change up modes, push and hold, so that'll be ultra low, low, medium, high, then turbo, and then it should go back to ultra low. So Moonlight mode is always hidden. You'll have to turn the light off and push and hold to access Moonlight mode, which I love because I am not a big fan of Moonlight mode, but I am starting to enjoy it more and more now. So all of you people that said you will one day end up liking Moonlight mode, you were very right, and I stand in defeat. Basically, to access the special modes, you gotta click 3 times very, very fast. So 1, 2, 3. Then you push and hold to change modes. And you push and hold again, and that'll change the modes down. That's basically your UI there. It's a pretty easy UI. You don't actually get a battery indicator until the battery is below, I think, 2.6 volts, because it works also with CR123s. But that's fine. The switch here will just blink red, and then you know that you're running out of battery. Also, it does have a lockout feature. Push and hold for 5 seconds. You'll see Moonlight come on, but keep on pushing and holding it. So now it should be in lockout. So no accidentally pushing it and starting your light. Which actually did happen once with this inside my pocket. It turned on and it got pretty hot. It doesn't actually get as hot as what you think it would for such a high output in a small light. But it did get pretty hot for me to notice to turn it off. Alright, now I'll just quickly show you around the light. That's the button there. It sits semi-flush. Stainless steel retaining ring here. AR coated glass, you can see, with the OP style reflector. I think the reflector is kind of tinted, because this does have a very nice tint. You'll see it when we go outside. Yeah, the clip sits on, so it's a reverse facing clip. It sits up to the top. We'll try and undo the battery. That's basically the magnet there. The magnet is very, very strong actually. It can hold this light up easy. You can see the spring there. We'll take the battery out. Unanodized threads, so there is no manual lockout even if you want to. Then inside there you can just see that. That's the driver. It appears to be pretty much the same driver as the other lights. So yeah, it is a little bit down on output, but I don't think that that's because for a reason that they couldn't get that much power out of this. It's more so just for heat. Because 900 lumens, I still feel that 900 lumens is more than enough power for this light. It is bright as, which you will see soon enough. I will also mention that the head turning feature is pretty much in between the TR20 and the TR18. I know a few people didn't like that the head on the TR20 was a bit hard to turn. I didn't mind because I'd rather have it harder than looser. Then the TR18 was pretty soft to turn. It was a little bit too easy. This one falls pretty much in between. Alright guys, so from right to left, we got the TR20 here, which is the biggest in size. Then we got the TR18 here, and we got the TR10. So you can see the TR10 is not quite half the size of the TR20, but it almost is. It's starting to come pretty close. You can see it is a lot smaller than the other lights. A lot smaller. And output isn't actually down by that much. These other lights give out round about 1100 lumens, and the TR10 gives out just above 900 lumens. So not too bad actually. Weight wise, this is like just about half the weight, less than half the weight actually of the TR20, and almost half the weight of the TR18. There isn't actually too much difference between the TR20 and the TR18 in weight, but the TR10 smokes them in the weight category easily. So these are basically the other style lights that I'm going to take outside. These are all EDC lights. You can see it's pretty much the smallest from a 14500 flashlight. This is the Colaris here, the XT1C. Obviously the Jet MK2 will be the smallest because it's a twist to activate style flashlight. And basically overall it's a very small flashlight. It is still shorter than the XT1C and the Jet MK1, but not by a whole much, but it is a little bit. But then again, if we want to cheat, you can just go like so. Now we'll see which one's which size. Okay, so then now you can see that the Rofis TR10 is a lot smaller than the rest. Alright guys, that's pretty much the review done for this part. Let's take the lights outside now and see how they do. You will be surprised about how well the TR10 is going to do. Wait and see. Alright guys, now we're outside. We've got the Rofis TR10 on moonlight mode, which is 3 lumens. You can see more than enough light to light up the door. I'm about 3 meters away too, so obviously standing closer will give you a better result. So say you want to put your keys in, that's how bright it's going to be. More than enough light there. Easily does it. Alright, next mode up will be ultra low, which is 18 lumens. This is more than enough light, obviously. You can see it's substantially brighter than the moonlight mode, obviously. Even if you shine a little bit further away to about 6 meters, you can still see the tires fairly easy. Looks very good. Next up, we might actually move back for this, is low mode. It's a pretty big jump to 70 lumens. So you can see that's a massive jump. Even if I shine it down there, you can see it does a very good job. We'll go to our normal spot in the yard and see how it does there. Alright guys, this is low mode on. I'm a little bit closer to the tree than usual, about 10 meters away. You can still see it does a pretty good job lighting up my backyard. 70 lumens for a low mode is pretty high low mode, but I quite like it. Alright, next up we have medium mode, which will be 300 lumens. So you can see quite a substantial jump there. We'll move back a tad bit, just so you guys can see it better. I'm pretty much in my usual spot now. So you can see it lights on my whole backyard, fairly cruisy. Next up is high mode, which is 600 lumens. Alright, now 600 lumens is like more than enough light to light up my backyard. So this 600 lumens will last for 4.3 minutes with a 16340. It is raining, so you can probably see a few sprinkles here and there. Alright, next up is high mode. So we'll leave it on high mode for a little while and see how it does. 2 minutes on high mode, and then it will drop down to 300 lumens for 40 minutes. Obviously, being a smaller size cell, it's going to be hard. Sorry, this is turbo mode. Turbo mode is 900 lumens. Obviously, being a smaller size cell, it's going to be harder for it to stay at 900 lumens for too long. Just thinking you're putting like a lot of strain on that small battery. Alright, so we'll try it now to 100 meters, which it does make it, but it's pretty diffused, so like I wouldn't really be using this as a thrower anyway, but it does just make it there. It might be hard for you guys to see because it's even a little bit hard for me to see. They say it can go to about 140 meters. I wouldn't count on it to go that far because it is a super floody beam, but for anything up close to about 50-60 meters, you'll have a lot of light. 900 lumens is a lot of power. Alright guys, so right now we've got my current EDC on, the Colaris XT1C, that's to the right, and we'll put the Rofis TR10 onto the left and see how they do. So TR10 to the left and XT1C to the right. You can see the TR10 outshines it by a substantial amount. I did measure the XT1C at 780 lumens. So the Rofis was measured by me at 913, so you're still looking about a good 130 lumens of difference in output. Next up we'll try the JetBeam Jet MK1 and we'll see how that does against the TR10. Alright guys, now we've got the JetBeam Jet MK1 on to the right. Now we'll put the TR10 on to the left. So TR10 to the left, Jet MK1 to the right. You can see it's a tighter hotspot on the MK1, but you can see that the TR10 absolutely demolishes it in output and performance wise. Also the tint looks a little bit better on the TR10, I would say. More neutral. My whole backyard is lit up like pretty crazy right now. It looks cool. Next up we'll try the Jet MK2 and see how that does against the TR10. Alright guys, now we've got the JetBeam Jet MK2 on to the right. Now we'll throw the TR10 on and see how it does. So TR10 to the left, JetBeam Jet MK2 to the right. You can see there's no comparison here. The TR10 is almost twice as bright, like literally. It's got just about 400 lumens on the Jet MK2, but still it's pretty good. They're still fairly similar sized lights, even though the Jet MK2 is a tad smaller. It isn't like a world smaller. It's not a whole bunch lighter actually either, so they are comparable in some sense. Alright, if there's two lights that would come close in output, it would be this light on now. Convoy S2 Plus, 3 amps. It's a very neutral white tint. That's the only thing that'll be hard for it to keep up with the TR10 with. But basically, it's pretty much 1000 lumen light also, even with the neutral white tint. That's on to the right. To the left, you've got the TR10. So you can see output wise, the TR10 still appears to be at least the same brightness. Does actually appear a little bit brighter to my eyes and to the camera too. That could just be the tint, I'm not completely sure. But the TR10 at 900 lumens is like crazy bright. You can probably see right now, I can't see it on the screen, but it's starting to rain pretty heavy, which is sweet. When we've got to get the reviews done, we've got to get the reviews done, right? Yeah, so basically I love this TR10. it's awesome. It's so bright. Like, I only wish that they would increase the capacity of 16 340s to maybe like 1 amp or even 8 900 milliamps, and that would mean that overall runtime would also keep up with the output. That would be great. Alright guys, so rain, hail or shine, these reviews have to get done. I don't know if you can tell that it's raining pretty hard right now, but it is. Yeah, so we're outside. You can see the brick wall behind me where I usually might take a few photos, kind of. And I've got the TR10 hanging off the shed. So you can see for a 16340 flashlight, the TR10 goes above and beyond what it should. It's a great light. Let me just show you guys once again, even though I've already shown you before. I love the magnet on these lights. Rofis use like really good quality magnets, and I love them. Basically, that's a review of the TR10 done. As always, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. And I'm gonna stand in the rain and finish one more review tonight. Thanks, guys.